Do you ever feel like trusting God is easier said than done? Like you know He's in control, but deep down you're still holding on to fear, doubt, or even having a backup plan just in case He doesn't come through. If that's you, you're not alone. I've been there, and honestly, I'm still working through it. Trusting God with the unknown, the uncontrollable, and the impossible is one of the hardest things I've had to learn. But today, I want to share what I've discovered in this journey, why trust is so hard, how I'm learning to let go, and why it's always worth it in the end. For the longest time, I thought trusting God was just about saying, I believe you, and then everything would magically fall into place. But real trust, that's a whole different story. It's messy, it's hard, and sometimes it feels downright impossible. Yet over and over again, God has shown me that when I let go of my fear and control, He shows up in ways I could have never imagined. Today, I want to have a deep, honest conversation about trusting God, what makes it hard, and what happens when we don't, and how we can take steps to trust Him even when it feels impossible. If you've ever struggled with surrendering your plans, fears, or dreams to God, this video is for you. Let's be real. Trusting God is hard because it requires surrender, and surrender goes against everything we've been taught about self-reliance and control. From a young age, we are told to make plans, work hard, and ensure our own success. But trusting God asks us to let go of our own plans and believe that His way is better, even when we can't see the full picture. For me, the hardest part has been letting go of control. I like to know what's coming next. I like to have a plan. But trusting God means walking in faith, even when the path is unclear. And let's not forget the fear. What if things don't work out the way I hope? What if God's plan takes me somewhere I don't want to go? These questions can make trust feel impossible. When we don't trust God, we often take matters in our own hands. And while that might feel like the safer option, it usually leads us to more stress, more anxiety, and more exhaustion. I've learned this the hard way. The times I've tried to force things to happen on my own, I've ended up frustrated and burnt out only to realize that I should have waited on God. There is a verse that has really spoken to me about this. Proverbs chapter 3 verse 5 to 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him and He will make your paths straight. That's a promise, but it's also a challenge. It reminds me that when I try to lean on my own understanding, I miss out on the clarity and direction that only God can provide. And here's what I've learned so far on this journey of trusting God. Trust is a choice. It's not about waiting until you feel ready. It's about choosing to trust Him even when it feels scary. Faith is not the absence of fear. It's moving forward despite it. God's track record is perfect. When I look back on my life, I see how God has been faithful even when situations felt hopeless. Recalling His past faithfulness gives me courage to trust Him in the future. Trust grows in surrender. The more I let go of control, the more peace I find. Trusting God doesn't mean everything will be easy, but it does mean I don't have to carry the weight of trying to figure out on my own. God's timing is always right. This is tough because we live in a world that loves instant results, but God works on His own timeline and it's always for our good. Even when I don't understand the delay, I'm learning to trust that He is working behind the scenes. If you're struggling with trust, here are a few steps that really helped me. Start with prayer. Be honest with God about your fears and doubts. Ask Him to help you to trust Him more. Sometimes just admitting you're struggling is the first step to growth. Meditate on His promises. There is so much power in the scripture. Like Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans I have for you. Romans 8:28, all things work together for good. Reminds me of God's faithfulness. Release control daily. Trust is not a one-time decision. It's something we choose every day. Ask yourself, what am I hiding? Or what am I holding on that I need to give it to God today? Celebrate small wins. Every time you take a step of faith, no matter how small, celebrate it. Trust grows over time and every step counts. Trusting God is not easy. but it's always worth it. When you let go of control, we make room for His plans to unfold, and His plans are always better than anything we could have ever imagined. If you're struggling to trust Him now, know that you are not alone. I'm on this journey too, and I'm learning that the more I trust, the more I experience His peace, His joy, and His provision. So, today I want to challenge you to take one small step towards trusting God. Maybe it's surrendering a specific situation to Him in prayer, or maybe it's just reminding yourself that He is in control. Whatever it is, trust that He's got you and His plans are good for you. I'd love to hear from you. What's one area of your life where you're learning to trust God? Let's talk about it in the comments section. I would love to encourage you and to pray with you on this journey.